Tonight, more dignitaries, including former presidents Kufuor, Nana Akufo-Addo and Liberia's Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, flocked to Nana Konadu's residence to offer condolences to the Rawlings's family and celebrate the country's former First Lady, the trailblazer in the country's women empowerment efforts.
This is a Ghana in your bopo, every time. I require between the zero.
Almost like family, because I've had the opportunity.
We'll be live to our reporter on the ground and speak to the 2024 flag bearer of her party, the National Democratic Party. Please stay with us. Top Story, as always, is brought to you by Telecel Connecting Energies. My name is Fostina Sarfo. Please stay for details. Tonight, leaders from across the country are flocking to the Ridge residence of the former First Lady, Nana Konadu Rawlings, to offer condolences to the family and pay respect to the life and legacy of a true icon. The former presidents, political advocates are all paying tributes to Nana Konadu's tireless work in promoting women's rights and empowerment. Nana Konadu passed away at the Ridge Hospital, we know, on Thursday at age 76. Government has declared 3 days of mourning and directed all national flags to be flown at half-mast at public institutions, diplomatic missions and government facilities, both in Ghana and abroad, as dignitaries, politicians and citizens pour to her Ridge residence to pay respects. The outpouring of grief was palpable. Let's hear from the former president, Nana Akufo-Addo, who visited a while ago.
Also, now, Mama, Nana Konadu, they pray for, it's all kind, and running at some, from the body about the now, a riot can was him. You'll be quiet. Obeyjuma kese wo memu izumi chono this is a Ghana ina ya bopo every time ho I require between the zero nenunti ina mesu ba de pe we madam for kuna abe kame pa nti because he has some valuable money, amateur. He has a lebefia, so it is about to say, Mama Boyako.
Well, you just heard the former president, Akufo-Addo, speaking to you. He was just talking about how hard-working the late former First Lady, Nana Konadu Rawlings, was, talking about there's a need for each of us to come together in unity just to work to ensure that she gets that befitting burial as she has passed away. Well, he's not alone. Liberia's former president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, was also at the Ridge residence of the former First Lady who has passed on. And this is what she said.
Almost like family, because I've had the opportunity to come to her in a family setting, to sit with them and talk with them. I'm particularly blessed that her daughter, the oldest one, is one of our major women leaders that we look to for the potential of her leadership in the future. To all the family members, may God give you all the strength. This is a particularly important woman in what she has stood for in her life, the events she has promoted in her life, the example she has set for women that are strong in their faith and strong in their commitment to God and to country.
Well, you just heard there the former Liberian president there, Ellen Johnson, just talking about how impactful her journey has been in the political space. Well, she's not alone. The Inspector General of Police was also at the former former First Lady, I beg your pardon, residence today, and he's also been speaking. Let's listen to him. We'll be right back.
Our mother is a mother to us all, and so the Ghana Police Service, her work in diverse ways have impacted activities within the service. There are so many, but I would like to highlight his work in women empowerment and gender mainstreaming. On the back of this, the police service has seen an extensive increase in female recruitment and also appointment of women to our management board. And that is something that we as an institution are very grateful to the many lives that Mami touched and the many institutions that she also affected. We also had our share and we are grateful. Today, the IGP is here to tell the family, the children, and all loved ones that the police service stands with you in this difficult time. You are in our hearts and our prayers are with you. The IGP would also want to note that as you prepare, this is a national event and we know that security arrangements will be critical. He is ready with his team at any time to play any role as far as security and policing are concerned to support seeing of our mother properly.
You heard that the Director of Public Affairs, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Grace Ansah Krofi. Let's get on the line now and speak to Fatao Bayaga. He's on the ground the whole day. He's been at the residence of the late former First Lady, and he joins us live here on Top Story. We appreciate your time. Fatao, so far, quite a number of dignitaries have been, coming through just to pay their last respect. You've also been speaking to some of them. You spoke to Asiedu Nketia earlier.
Absolutely. So many individuals are coming here to mourn with the family. Early in the day, we saw notable individuals, including former presidents, all passing by. As I speak with you, former President John Kufuor is still here signing the book of condolences. He is here to mourn with the family. But the national chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, was here with his entourage. And basically what he said was that the late First Lady played a very critical role when the NDC was being formed. He said that the former First Lady contributed even with her own resources in ensuring that the foundation of the NDC was built. He spoke about the fact that even though she later set up her own party, but her contribution to the party can never be underestimated. We can take a listen to him.
Na diasi nusadi michame na dikakano. Eye asemkesema Ghana nunyina. Eye NDC. Mameno akambo ni NDC kuno. Nunsa achiri okoti party Kufuor de. Ba hisre wo hodie. You say okamo ni kuno pa. Enti party no ajirade. Ghana so Ubia Madana will be the First Lady 19 years. This is a mammy for you. In Tianon so as someone about no to Ghana Manina. And then I am a fair, say Minia, Afenio, and the minority for about the kind. As I say, Ghana Manina, Yankamu. Na enidia ese efatano yemfanya mameno kwai na asi bema be odo so enu ti aso ka se bema be bia o se ka se oba be o pese be ka se bema be enti ni pa be na wa me ni na mi ji se die ni pa ba ko be ti ni aye dura ɛna ɔkɔyɛ.
Well, you just heard that Johnson Asiedu Nketia, the chairman of the NDC, just talking about the legacy she has left behind and the need for us to work in unity to ensure that she receives that befitting burial. Fatal, you also engage some key individuals like the minority leader, Fayomakin, as well as the Attorney General. Tell me more.
Yes, so Fostina, for the Attorney General, the late First Lady played a critical role in impacting the lives of many women across the country. She said that her contributions in terms of women empowerment is something that is very crucial. But he touched on something very important. He said that she pushed, critically in ensuring that the interstate succession law, PNDC law 111, was passed, and that has positively impacted the lives of many women across the country. We can take a listen to him.
Movement played in the enactment of one of the most transformative laws, in the social history of this country, and that is the interstate succession, law, PNDC law 111, which is still the governing law on intestacy. And intestacy is the situation where somebody dies without a will. And the rationale for the enactment of the interstate succession law was to, provide for a radical departure from the system of administration of estates and the customary law in our various, communities, communities, especially in the matrilineal, not matrimonial, matrilineal, societies of our country. And that law has affected, in a very positive way, the lives, of women in particular, where their husbands have died intestate. Secondly, I think besides the advocacy for the enactment of this law, she was also very active in the women's rights movement, in conscientizing women, about their rights and getting them to be socially and economically empowered. So the 31st Zema Women's Movement, organized women into groups for purpose.
Well, you just heard there the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayeni. Fatal, you're still with us. You also spoke to Fayomakin.
Yes, Fostina. So the minority leader said that when they heard about this news, it was very heavy, right? And when the majority decided to come, they decided to follow them because this woman was very crucial in Ghana's political space, and it was important that the minority joins the majority for them to come and commiserate with the family.
Yes, so majority for Yanyamu and a war parliament. Almost a super majority. By so yes, the anti-assess by a mighty minority. Now, as I'm saying, up to Yeniaba, Yentumima Omunkwa Emba. Mani politics na ye no ye che adwen na if you want ye won ye busua baako ye maame no waba besum oman Ghana sa first lady ekonya no oma emu yedu obi adi wan dance ye susa no ye te Beijing conference no ne emba no kan masem Nedukwa obo ochre emba said ye beya ye bekata ye no friend to ma gidi say emma bebre su bibi efri no ho nti ye ma ye kasa ye tenten no ye edom kuma bibi say no ye si ye ne enuanom eba.
You just heard that the minority leader, Alexander Fayomakin, paying tribute to the late former First Lady and just talking about how she played a great role in the whole political landscape. He talks about the need to work in unity and how her passing even should unite us further. Fatal, you're still with us. The whole day, quite a number of individuals have been trooping to the late First Lady's Ridge residence. Who else have you spotted, and what really has been the disposition of the family members of the deceased?
So I saw the Education Minister Haruna Idrisu. He came with an entourage, and speaking to us, he expressed sudden following this particular loss. He said that when he heard the news, it was shocking, but to him, it is. I mean, for him, that death is part of human's life, right? So it was okay when he heard that, but he spoke about the fact that the late First Lady, performed a critical role in the NDC's formative period. She contributed even with her own money and supporting the party activities. He spoke about the contributions that she's played in empowering women across the country and many other things. Apart from him, I also spoke with the Minister in charge of Labour and Jobs, Rashid Popo, who said that he was also saddened when he heard about the news of the passing of the First Lady, because he knows exactly some of the things that she has done over the period to support women and other groupings across the country through her 31st December Women's Movement. So, fortunately, a lot of people have come in here, and even as I speak with you, some other people are still passing through just to commiserate with the family. And for the grief, it was palpable on the faces of the family as they continue to receive these individuals who make their way to the family house.
Indeed, Fatal. And just earlier, you were telling us how a delegation from Parliament, both the majority as well as the minority members, they arrived at the residence of the former First Lady just to pay their tributes. You've also been telling us how key members of Parliament, including the second Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Andrew Asiama, as well as the Majority Leader, Mahama Yariga, all trooped to pay their last respect. And here on Top Story, we'll be engaging a key member of the NDP just to find out their thoughts about her passing. For those of you who just tuned in, before she passed on, she was a leading member of the NDP. And so we would be engaging some key individuals shortly, just as we get into the minds of individuals as tributes begin to pour in. Earlier, we spoke to Nana Akufo-Addo, who has been sharing her thoughts about the legacy she's leaving behind, even as she has passed on to the great beyond. Let's listen to her. We'll be right back.
She carved a different, unique, and distinct role of a First Lady. And from her tenure, we now have a lot more First Ladies in Africa playing more activist roles during the tenures of their husbands. She also created a women's movement, even comparable to those in Africa, paralleled with what Kwame Nkrumah did with market women before we attained independence, through the formation of the 31st December Women, and also played a strategic role in the formation of the NDC as a political party, and in ensuring that NDC had a strong women's wing as it transitioned from PNDC during military rule to NDC as a democratic party. In all these three, she played a very critical strategic role, and even in ensuring that women's rights were protected through the promulgation of laws. And one particular significant law is the Interstate Succession Law, PNDC Law 111, which she led to promulgate, where women's rights, when their husbands or partners died, and that of children, were preserved through promulgation of PNDC law. So you cannot write the history of Ghana in terms of political activism, creation of political parties, in terms of the role of First Ladies, even in Africa, and then in terms of women's movements, without mentioning Nana Konadu Rawlings.
Well, you've just been hearing some key voices just paying tributes to the former First Lady who has passed on. And let me bring in Alhaji Mohammed Frimpong. He is NDP's 2024 flag bearer. We appreciate your time here on Top Story. Nana Konadu was not only the founder of your party, she was also a trailblazer, some people describe her, when it comes to women politics. How would you describe her legacy?
Well, thank you very much. Greetings to your listeners and viewers at the same time. Well, in the first place, you will agree with me that any individual with political passion will definitely be conscious of what I call the cloud of national expectation. And she is, or she was, one of such individual political activist and a leader, who was very, very much conscious of the prevailing political expectation, that gave rise to, first of all, let me say, the events that brought her late husband into power, and, her response in terms of assisting, in playing a role for the success of what I call that social revolution. She is somebody who is very much bent on mobilization. When we talk about governance, her role is always trying to mobilize in order, to implement whatever policy or whatever goal the government, wants to attain. And that is how we all witnessed how she mobilized women in terms of what I say poverty alleviation, empowerment, employment, and productivity. These were the cardinal goals of whatever role she played.
Yeah, you worked and then you worked with her very closely in recent years. What are your personal memories of her?
Yes, that is she's she was an individual who would tell you not to complain, but find or take an initiative in terms of problem solving. That is what she believes in. She doesn't want, as a politician, you come whining over problems and what have you. And of course, all that we needed was the people's mandate. That is what we were all striving for. But once you don't have it, then of course it becomes a different ball game. But the most significant character of her is that if you have a policy, if you have a manifesto, you must also define, the way to mobilize the nation, in implementing your manifesto. That is how probably, in her role as the former First Lady and in the revolution in which she played a greater role, she concentrated on mobilizing women. Of course, we agree that women form the greater portion, of our population. And for any leader to go into mobilizing women for that matter, meant that she was equally mobilizing the entire nation. So that is what we really appreciated, and learned from her.
Many have observed, really, that since her passing, the NDC, the party she once belonged to, has taken the leading role when it comes to paying her tribute. While your party, the NDP, you've remained relatively silent. Why exactly is that the case?
What is silence? The point is that we are at the helm of arrangement to give a fitting, memorial or burial for that matter. It's just not probably shouting, around that means that, one felt that she was much more dear to let's say a specific political party. I am on my way home, and from whatever arrangements we are making to give a fitting memorial. Definitely, NDC. They hold a mandate, and you will agree. We think that the mandate is collective possession. So if it is the government that is making, like you're saying, the most either arrangement or preparation, why not? We're all sharing that. So definitely, you will not hear NDP saying that we are ordering let's say a 3-day holiday, or maybe flags flying at a half-mast. It should be the government, and we share in that. Why? We are not contesting that.
And as the National Democratic Party, the NDP, what internal meetings have you had?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I'm listening to you.
I'm wondering what internal meetings you've had as the NDP concerning her passing.
Well, we are even holding one virtual meeting tonight. It's so far. It's an event that occurred yesterday. We will have a regional virtual meeting, at 9 p.m. To coordinate whatever arrangements are going on, and whichever role our members all over the region, all over the nation, may have to play.
But with her passing now, how does the NDP plan to preserve and even advance her vision moving forward?
Yes, as a political party, we will still wage, our efforts to make sure we are able to advance, some of the ideas that she held dearly to herself. And for me, this is exactly what I'm saying. National mobilization, in the attainment of whatever ideals we have, are the most important thing. We, by our manifesto, we equally share in the ideas of employment, poverty alleviation, productivity, and human empowerment. For us, that is the most important thing. And we are trying to share some of these ideas with people who are even in power. We are discussing most of these ideas with counterparts. We do not need to come on a stage to think that we are contesting their methods and what have you. There's no need now, because you have a mandate holder. That's the NDC government. If they want to take a leaf or two from our ideas, why not? Because at the end of the day, we have a nation to build together, and we are not, let's say, keeping our good ideas away from anybody who wants to listen to us.
Okay. Thank you so much, Alhaji Muhammad Frimpong. He is NDP's 2024 flag bearer. And that's how we wrap up Top Story. My name is Fostina Sarfo. For more news, please log on to myjournal.com. Good afternoon.